because I have my radio on. Please stop. You know, I'm getting really tired of this. I'm not signed up for your behavior modification program or any other thing. You're in my business illegally if you're in it at all. 12:15 p.m. Central Standard Time. And it might actually be the people that are covering crimes from their past and then the crimes they've committed in my name to try to stay in my business. And somehow got both my ex-husbands and my family to go along with it. I know you got dirt on them. You made them think they could do this or that and tricked them. Some version of that. You know what? Once somebody special, it's just going to take a special investigator, one that has enough military level to know the technology you're using and the 3 different things. The crimes from 30 years ago, not mine. What my first ex-husband lied about in 1996, not mine. Whatever else the level that has been indicated without official documentation of a level of terrorism or some other kind of bigger picture like that, not mine. Clearly, if you read my profile, I was a peace-loving hippie and I was quoting other people. The dude who drove a Dukes of Hazzard car threatened bomb threats. He threw fireworks at me one time back in the day I'm pretty sure it's after something else like that had happened. So, the fact that he came around here and pretended he could help me and lied. If you see a guy missing fingers on his left hand, make sure you check out behind the scenes in person. And if he's wearing a glove, make him take it off. For all I know, he could have a prosthetic by now. And that's a terrible thing to happen to anyone. When that happened back in high school, I felt sorry for him. That's the only reason I ever went to his house and made out with him. And it was disgusting. It didn't feel right then. It didn't feel right in 2016, 2017 when Davey was pushing me toward him. And I told him that. And when he didn't get what he wanted, which was something off me like that sexually, and I don't know why. I should have smacked his wiener when he exposed it to me. I wouldn't be showing anybody if I had a wiener like that. But, he also tried to drive off with me in the car. That's kidnapping. I was okay talking to him in the driveway, but I did not want him to drive anywhere with me. If I hadn't thrown a fit, I don't know if I would have made it back that night. So the things that he's done and said, he's lucky that I didn't put some kind of charges against him. And it still might not be too late because of the bigger picture, because of what he did, because he told me it was happening. He told me about some kind of international bullshit too. He knows something. If he's not the one abusing me behind the scenes, and he may very well be posing as my boyfriend, or they're mixing and matching identities, I'm sure. I'm still the same. My story has not changed, although sometimes the people, I'm not sure who's using who. But I have not changed my story. Nobody's going to say that I just flipped out and started talking about this, because you're going to find that they've hidden suppressed information for well over a decade. And I'm pretty sure if there's something that has got me that upset, they're supposed to be taking care of it. Not by evaluating me, but by figuring out who is triggering that and why they would be connected to my business in the first place, including the only two girls from Spencer County that attacked me on separate occasions, run the local ARC office. And when that popped up on my radar, I thought, now that's a pretty weird coincidence. One of them's parents owned a water company when it first came around here. I guess they still have some kind of investment in it. I don't know. But you check and see who's trying to keep me the quietest, and that's where you're going to find. That's where the pot of gold of whoever's milking this system and switching and changing everything on the property documents. They got all kinds of things. They got other people with other names coming up connected to me besides this property here, and Amy L. and David up in Santa Claus. So somebody's mixing and matching a lot of stuff. I wonder why that is. And I know the people that own horses, I didn't know that they own that field down there, but I know that they're probably not bad people, because my sister was friends with Heidi. But it's in her mom's name. It says Renee Green on this one right down the road, catty corner from my first ex-husband's house. And that's kind of close, because that's my middle and last name, current middle and last name. So I'm not saying they would do that, but someone else has the keys all in place, and maybe they hadn't gotten fully away with using whoever has all the documents to identify me, my sister, and my mother since birth. All those records were up in that house when she lost it and didn't know she was going to lose it. That's why she didn't tell me. It's a sick mess of whoever's in this small town BS, and there's still a lot of good people carrying the weight, probably balancing it out. And I know they're probably tired of hearing me talk about it too. I'm tired of talking about it. I'm tired of having to live this. I'm not going to give up. I'll never stop living. If y'all find me dead, you better do a deep investigation, because I guarantee you somebody else knows, and somebody probably knows what happened to my necklace over 30 years ago, my Chevron Tri-Gold necklace, and now my Star of David necklace is missing. I've taken my house apart, cleaning and dusted, and that's why my allergies are even worse right now, because I'm trying to get that all cleaned up and make sure it didn't fall down on something else. But I'm sure I had that either in my purse or my fanny pack, because I moved the place that I normally keep it, and that's when things apparently usually seem to happen. But whoever is up my rear this far knows just about every move I make, and I'm sure they know where it's at. Later I might put an ad. If it doesn't turn up after I check more thoroughly through every, cranny that there is in there, I might have to call the Rockport Journal-Democrat and put a missing ad, I guess, if it doesn't. Hopefully it won't cost too much. I might do it either way just to see, because if there's an awareness of someone in my business and they're not taking details like that, they ought to be. Any one thing could turn this case over as to who's been abusing me and my family, and use my children to abuse me. When they used my children to abuse me when they were underage, and they told them to tell me that they would get me in trouble if I tried to speak up, and that's exactly what happened. So you can't say that I neglected my children. I tried my best to inform them that I know they were just quoting stuff verbatim that they could not possibly have known because they were little kids, but they were old enough to understand at that point. They used to think the coincidences and synchronicity were cool. They'd be like, oh, Mom, guess what? I had this too. But somewhere, especially after 2015 and 2016, it turned to evil, pure evil. And refusing to do their homework, no one would back me up to say, listen to your mom. If she just wants to tell you something, you don't have to agree. But if all she asks you to do is your homework and maybe a chore or two, you have to do that before you go play. It never happened. And they were kids. You can't blame them. They just wanted to go run down the road. Even my youngest son, that's me and Davies, was going down there to the other kids' grandmas and playing too, which was nice that they let them, but it wasn't nice that no one backed me up on it, on making them do what they should have done first, have their after-school snack that I had ready for them, and talk about their day. So it turned into them throwing stuff at me and saying hateful stuff that came from these other people that made threats. Direct quotes. Plus what I was doing during the day that they couldn't have known. You tell me how that happened. Someone was gaslighting me with them too, not just the other stuff they put in my business online.